All right, y'all. I was locked up for a little bit, so I missed a lot of news. So I heard about NLE Chopper and something he had to say. So I'm gonna get my salad, and we gonna watch this world. Is there anything you want to say? Hey, get out of here, man.
Why?
Now you done. You made your presence.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say?
Yes.
What you gotta say?
So guys, he's gonna go in the kitchen, take his big legs inside the kitchen, and get his salad, and then bring his big self back in here and eat the salad.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hey, I got that jail body looking good. Why I look like that? I got that jail body. I ain't gonna lie, I've been smashing like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie, I've been eating real good since I've been till push-ups being done now. Just how y'all do. It looks nasty on this camera, but there's a whole lot of peppers in here. Lettuce and eggs. And before I get full on the bullshit, I'm gonna get full on the bullshit. Alright, y'all, lock in.
Christianity, it's a thing where people praise the Son more than they praise the Father. And that's what I don't like. Because if we are man made in a likeness, Jesus is our brother. You get what I'm saying? Why would I drop down and praise my brother instead of praising my father? And that goes back to honoring your parents. I just say something. What? Have you read the Bible? I read the Bible. I listen to the Bible. I receive from sources.
I just want to say, now me, I ain't never read the Bible. I've only read one story. Well, honestly, when I was locked up, that was the first time I ever read the Bible. I probably read like 4 or 5 stories. And it was Job, something to start with E, Proverbs, Psalms, Matthew, Ruth. There was another name in there. I think it was a girl name. Romans. Keep count because I lost count. I read, and the Bible that I had stories torn out, so that's kind of sucked. But this, I know that Christians don't want to hear this shit. I know they started some uproar, but I'm gonna let it continue.
And this video has been posted on many big blog pages. All down in the comment section, people are going at Brother NLE Chopper saying, yeah, read the Bible again. First, I want to salute the brother for keeping his composure at the table. Instead of telling the brother to just read the Bible again, he could have just educated him on what he said wrong. But the problem is, I don't think the brother said anything wrong. He was basically saying that we praise Jesus. We stop at Jesus when we should be thanking God, because Jesus is our brother. And I already know what you're thinking. Well, the Bible says Jesus and God is one. So when you praise Jesus, you is praising God. Now he said read the Bible again, so let's read it together. John 10:13 says, I and my Father are one. Doesn't mean that they are equal in the exact same. Adam and Eve was also one, but we know those are 2 different human beings. Now, if you continue to read the book of John a little bit more, John 17:21 through 22 says this, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. So if Jesus being one with God makes him God, us being one with God makes us who? Well, God was in Jesus. Well, it also says that we are the real temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells within you. So if the Spirit of God is in us, that makes us who? But we don't want to go there.
Now, I don't read the Bible, so I can't stand on the validity of his words. But see, the other brother didn't take time to explain it. Here we got somebody that's here taking the time to explain it. And
right? Now, many on my page when I reposted that was talking.
Look at his jacket. Now, he's justifying a whole other book, and it seems like he's Muslim. Whatever FOIs. Educate me, get me together. But FOI, I think it's Muslim.
About Jesus not being God brother because he's so great. First of all, John 14:12 says those who believe will be found doing the work that I'm doing because I got to go away and you're going to do even greater things than me. But it also says in the scripture that Jesus is the seed of David according to flesh. So yes, Jesus is the son of God spiritually, but guess what? So am I. So are you a child of God, son and daughter. Well, how you know that, Brother Ben? Because when Jesus prayed, he didn't say my Father, which art in heaven. He says, pray on this wise. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. See, the problem is we don't see Jesus as an example for us. We see him as something that we could never become if we just submit our will to do the will of God like he did. Speaking of, if he's submitting his will to do the will of God, how is he? You kind of see where I'm going here? So I don't think the brother NLE is wrong. He's simply saying all of the praise belongs to the supreme being, the originator, the Father, not the Son. Even though it says you got to go through Jesus to get to the Father, if you got to go through something to get to something else, that's telling you that it's not the exact same. It's not equal.
You don't need to worship Jesus. You worship the God that Jesus worshiped. You don't worship the Messiah. You don't worship the Mahdi. You worship Allah alone.
So when Jesus said he and his Father was one, it doesn't mean physically per se. It's talking about one in spirit, one in obedience, and one is because he submitted his will to do the will of the Father. And if
I don't want nobody to bash me, because I'm still learning as I go. Okay, I never was in a rush for religion, but I'm not a religious person. But something I feel like was told to me when I was growing up is, you don't want to praise, you don't want to worship prophets. You want to worship the source. I can't say that was dumb. I can't say that that's not valid because it was what was told to me when I was growing up. So that's just kind of been the only thing. But educate me, constructively, not disrespectfully.
you and I submit our will to do the will of the Father, we too will be able to say, when you see me, you have seen the Father, because I'm in the Father and the Father is in me.
Because Jesus himself called on the Father. He never told you to worship him. He told you to follow him. You have done neither. You didn't worship nor follow. Jesus has never told you to worship him as a God beside God. Come on. We're going to get some truth here today. We're going to stop this killing. Anytime you set up rivals to God, you're killing people spiritually. Jesus said, when they said, Master, teach us how to pray. He said, pray on this wise. Our Father. Not mine and not yours. I got a father, but you ain't got none. You're a bastard. He didn't say that. He said, our Father.
You just
So where does that, where do we get that? You know what? I'm gonna just watch it.
got to stop thinking so little of yourself and believe that about yourself. But who taught us that also don't apply to us? That's the question.
The question he just asked is what I was just asking. Where did this come from, you know?
Real simple. You pray for something, and God answers your prayers with an idea, a thought. Real subtle. If you get it, you get it. But at the same time, if you don't act on that thought, it'll flow out the way to the person who catches it. You gotta think about it. There was an Elon Musk that had that e-car idea before Elon got it. He let it pass on.
Somebody else.
Because the thing is that it has to actualize regardless. That's why I hustle hard.
No, that's factual. There's a window. There's a window for everything. There's a window for everything. And it's up to you whether when you receive that message, that download, you know what I'm saying? When we receive the downloads and receive the messages, it's up to you to act on it. Because if you don't, it'll just go right to the next one. That's why when you feel like you see somebody else on the road that's doing something, you're like, that's my idea. How did he get my shit? It's not that he didn't get it. It's not that he stole your idea or got it from you. It's just that you didn't act upon it. So, you know, the message just got passed down. The work of God needs to be done regardless of if you feel like you're going to act on it when you want to or whether or not. It still needs to get done. So when you choose to not act on those ideas, all it does is just go to the next person. And then you're stuck wishing that you would have acted upon it.
I'm starting to understand why these older women are dating these little YNs. So I'm at the grocery store. This little YN came up to me and he shoot his shot. He was like, hey, first he said my hair was cute. I was like, thank you. Keep going out till he come back. He said, hey, you beautiful. Can I get your number? I was like, great. I said, no, I'm seeing somebody. However, they're a little more forward. It's like the men that are in my age range, y'all look off.
The men your age aren't off. They just know y'all. It's the same way y'all know those men. Y'all know them too. Y'all know what they've been through. Y'all know what each other did and everything. So in each other's eyes, y'all are just ran through. I want y'all to read these comments. It's insane. These YNs are literally channeling the men from the 70s and the 80s. Like, what? They be so direct and respectful. They know how to give you the best compliments. Oh my God. Latrice says, I'm 53 and my husband is 26. Let's get into it. Oh my God. If men made this post.
Now, I just want to say that those comments specifically were all very typical things that I think those are typical things that are just missing no matter what age range you get to, but especially for the older people, you know. I think niggas know how to play their role. I think young niggas, I don't know.
About younger women, this post would have went viral. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of older women out there. Oh my God. If men made this post about younger women, this post would have went viral. Now, don't get me wrong. Oh my God. Latrice says, I'm 53 and my husband is 26. Let's get into it. Oh my God. If men made this post about younger women, this post would have went viral. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of older women out there that are hot. You know what I'm saying? They look good. But I'm going to break this down to you. The same reason why young women mess with older men is the same reason why young men mess with older women. I'm going to say this in the nicest way I possibly can without sounding like an asshole. Young men, they're chasing a nut. So young men know older women have a low self-esteem, especially ones that have divorced and have children. So now they're divorced and single parents. So young men prey on your insecurity to date you. I'm not lying. And younger men, especially if they're in shape, they tend to look better than the average 30 or 40-year-old man or 50-year-old man. So in your eyes, he's already automatically hot. When you're in your peak shape in your 20s and 30s, this is you. He's the hottest. This young man makes you feel young. And he uses that to his advantage. And he's going to validate you. He's going to make you feel so good and so hot and so young. And you're going to mess with him. And you're going to give him what he wants every time. Just like the young women that mess with the older men. They're young, they're hot, they don't have to do too much, but they're young and hot. And they look better than the average older woman. They're not obese like that, they're in shape, they look good, they're doing stuff, they're in their prime. And they can get exactly what they want from that man simply because of that. The young men want the nut, the young women want the money, the resources. It's the same game. Y'all are just as bad as the men.
Now, this video could have went so many different directions, and it actually did. But I'm just going to speak on one aspect of it. Maybe it's not the aspect of the predator part, but I've had issues growing up. You know what I mean? So mine is the issues growing up. I've pretty much talked to older women my whole life. I don't think that there's anything wrong with talking to somebody that's older than you or talking to somebody that's younger than you. I think it has to be genuine and it has to be honest and respectful. As long as those three things are present, then I don't think there's any problems. I think the problem is that people try to trick. I think the grooming and, the tricking is the problem. To sit here and groom somebody when they're young and innocent, you know what I mean? I don't think that you should be. That's the problem. It's the grooming. Okay, make it make sense. We're adults here. I just think that it's the taboo. For me, I just love the taboo. It's like you're older, I'm younger. And that just fuels a different kind of fire.
Honest. If you're still able to talk to 4 or 5 women after 30, you build different. Oh, yeah, that's too many personalities for me. I don't have time for it, okay? You're going to get a different response from each woman, okay? And it could be something simple as good morning, all right? Let's try your main, for example. I was trying to say good morning before I go punch you in.
Good morning. I need you to pick up some bags in my house.
How about sneaky link? Good morning.
Ain't no good morning. When you coming over here so I can stick that big, thick, juicy mother.
You're going to stop that right there due to community guidelines. Last but not least, the baby mama. I was calling to tell you good morning.
Don't call me with this dumb ass. Okay, come on, right the fuck now because he got in trouble. And why the fuck you ain't been answering no phone?
I'm going to be honest. If you're still able to talk to 4 or 5 women after 30,
he got a point though. At a certain point, I ain't gonna lie, I gave that shit up when I was like 17, 18. I don't talk to multiple women on the same level, if it makes sense. Like, there's no way I'm, for instance, he had baby mama and had a girl. There's no way I'm texting the same good morning text to my girl, to my baby mama, and then to the side piece. Like, I'm not dealing with them on the same type of time. You know what I mean? But honestly, I'm gonna just say it for what it is. If you're dealing with multiple women at the same time, you're trash. Unless you're in a polygamous relationship. But oh, they getting active in my city. Hold on. It says Whitestown traffic stop. Nets 24 pounds of cocaine at approximately 8:30 p.m. on Monday evening. Officers in Whitestown conducted a traffic stop driven by Tania Brittany Miles. Okay. Okay. See, I see where she fucked up at right here. Right here is where she fucked up. Officers sensed the strong smell of marijuana coming from the vehicle, which led to a probable cause. I don't understand why y'all be trafficking and moving around but reeking. Y'all not doing it the right way. Let me see. All wrapping all the product and putting it in the double bag. All that was a waste as soon as you knew that you was riding around smelling like marijuana. You just took away from the whole thing because you smoked. Like, anyways, I'm not promoting anything, but we here to make shit make sense, okay? Field testing confirms the contents of cocaine. Okay, it wasn't cut. She had some real cocaine. Damn, 24 pounds. Damn, she was on the come up. Look at this. So 24.5 pounds is approximately 176,000. She was on the come up. This is called a runner, y'all. She's a runner. Anyways, that's just going on in my city. I had to read that. So.
Years to recover from heavy weed smoking. Yeah, bro, weed is terrible. It really is. It just makes you complacent, comfortable, makes you slow, makes you feel like you accomplished some shit when you did it. And it just leads to a bunch of terrible decisions, you know? So weed, I would say, is one of the most dangerous ones, to be real. So a lot of y'all will convince yourself that it's not a drug. And in a way, it's not because it grows from the earth, but it's still a drug in the sense that you can get addicted to it. And it will fuck your life up if you abuse it. I can never really ever say that I smoke weed and I'm like, oh man, I became a better person off of that weed. No, that's never happened. The only thing that's ever happened is that I got a few good laughs. The food tasted fucking amazing. Maybe I felt like I had some crazy good ideas from weed, but it really wasn't that. I just had such a huge dopamine hit that I could have already got from just cultivating my own life force. Because now that I cultivate my life force and I don't indulge in anything that takes away from my godly essence, I get even better ideas than I've ever had in my entire life. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like you are less than, or you're doing too much, or you're too strict because you're choosing to not rely on a substance to make you happy.
Honestly, it's really good to see McQueen talking in this kind of context because, you know, he's a funny dude. And, like, from what I grew up seeing him, he's a player. So, for him to have this kind of conscience is just mind-blowing. But we do live in a society where you are looked down upon for not smoking. Like, and if you, like right now, I'm not smoking weed. But when you actually sober up and you just, like, absorb that sober feeling, man, you feel like the little world that you've been complacent in, being high, it just feels so small. And you realize how small you've been living, the more sober you are. Hence why I'm pretty much probably here in front of y'all, because I've been sober, and that's why you feel me. You can see, but be consistent with the workouts, you know. I've been sober. I've been high still, and minus the fact that I'm forced to be sober. But honestly, if I wasn't, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I probably wouldn't be working out, and I probably wouldn't be doing the things I need to do. Honestly, I would recommend it for anybody. Take some time to stop smoking, man. Take a little break. It's not so much that the weed is bad. It's just bad when you're addicted and it's taken away from the everyday things that you know you need to be doing for yourself.